Okay, so it's around 8:45. So as we're sitting here, we've got, we're just still in this wild market. We had some really crazy action yesterday, as any of you who are here saw. HKD is still holding up relatively well, all things considered. It's at $1,800 a share. This thing IPO'd at less than $8 a couple weeks ago. So it's up over 20,000%. It's crazy. And it hit a high of 25.55.30 yesterday. So that was its high of day. I saw a couple of you guys traded it. You went for it. It was high risk. And the risk to me on it was the risk that it could get halted pending news or pending news or a T12 pending investigation by the exchange. This is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE. They have had a history of halting stocks that have made crazy moves, and I'm shocked that they halted those other ones, but they haven't halted this, because this one's gone the most I've ever seen by far, but it hasn't gotten halted yet. So you could say if it hasn't gotten halted yet, maybe it won't. I don't really know if that's reasonable. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't really know. But the problem here with buying this is that, let's say you bought it, and I haven't even looked at the spreads on it. I'm sure it's crazy, but the spreads are outrageous right now. But let's just say, you bought 100 shares or whatever. So the problem with this one is 100 shares would be $200,000. $200,000 in the stock at $2,000 a share. And if you bought $200,000 and then a minute later it gets halted on T12, that money is tied up for a long time, and you're going to most likely take a big loss. I haven't seen T12 halts that didn't result in 50 to 75% drops in the price. Everyone wants to bail out. Nobody wants to buy. And when it resumes a lot lower. That's just always been the case. I've never seen it not be like that. So there's actually more potential on this to the short side, because at least to the short side, if you got caught in a halt on a T12, that's going in your favor. If it starts to squeeze up, you can cover. You can always get out. If I buy it, I could sell it if it starts to go down, but I can't do anything if I get caught in a halt. So, I'm not going to short this. I don't think anyone probably has shares available to borrow. The price is probably outrageous. So it's just a no trade. But I've been keeping it up on a side chart just because of the fact that it's made this huge move, and it's given us some sympathy momentum. Yesterday we had AMTD, which is either the sole owner, or owns a very large position on HKD. Someone said they own 14 million shares. I don't know, but they own a large position, and it started to squeeze up. The reality is, though, we did the math. 14 million shares at 2,500 was like $31 billion, but it's insane. But good luck selling 14 million shares. It only had 300,000 shares of volume yesterday. So they've got unrealized gain, but they're not going to be able to sell it. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure that, it's probably going to still come down somewhere. But I think the AMTD stock price here, and this also is like a 300 million share float. So I think that this is factoring in the probability that they're not able to really turn that into a super material profit. But who knows? I mean, I don't know. I was just seeing a lot of selling on it yesterday. So AMTD, that's kind of off the table right now. But then yesterday into the close, you had APDN, which started to pick up. You got some really big moves on this. This after hours had the cleanest move here that we had all day, from $3 to $5. That was the cleanest move you had on it all day long. No halts after hours or pre-market. So nice move on APDN yesterday. Moved up again this morning up to 6, but a little choppy. And at the top today, you first had on the 5-minute this red doji. I thought it was going to go lower. It pushes a little higher, and then it reverses hard. So APDN right now, I'm not really that interested in it. Our leading gapper is HSDT. This one squeezed up after hours. It went from 80 cents to $2.70. Holy smokes. Intense FOMO. Traders just jumping on anything moving. But it came all the way back down to 126. It popped back up at 4 in the morning, and right now it's just kind of in between. So I don't feel like it's set up very well for any trades at this point. EAR, this one's another cheaper stock, floats a little higher. It doesn't look that great to me. APDN, we already talked about. PSTX, this one is a 35 million share float. It's a little higher. It's coming back up, but not a lot. I don't know. We'll see. Ping floats too high. ALNY floats too high. TOR floats too high. MDIA floats fine. This one also crazy move here from $4 all the way up to $11 at 4:15 yesterday. So maybe yesterday after hours was the peak of this sort of momentum, and now we're on the back side of it. I'm not seeing right now something that looks like it's still on the front side, as far as I can tell. Now, if we think back on this cycle of momentum we've had, it started back here on July 20th with PGY going from $2.75 to $8.15, resting for a day, and then the next day going up to 14. Resting for a day, the next day going up to 21, the next day going up to 24, pulling back, then up to 27, up to 30, and up yesterday to a high of 34.50. So PGY kind of started this round of momentum, being just a really big momentum stock, and then HKD sort of stepped in at the same time and has carried us into this week. So I feel like we might be starting to need a new stock that's really strong. A lot of the ones that have been strong have been Sympathy to PGY or HKD. So with PGY, so if PGY fades, and then if HKD also fades, then I don't know which one to really focus on. Now, APDN actually did have news yesterday. It's not a recent IPO stock, so this one really had its own catalyst, but it got extra momentum just because of the strength in the small cap market right now. So I'm not really sure which one to focus on at the moment. The gap scanner is not giving me something obvious. MTC, did I already mention that one? That's the only one I've traded so far today. We had a break of VWAP here from 550 up to 7, pull back, and then first candle make a new high on the 5 up to 720. But it rejected that level back down to 576. This made a really strong move during power hour yesterday from 3 to 4. If it can get over 720, then, maybe back to 9, maybe. But I don't know. I'm not sure. So, I'm having a little bit of a hard time figuring out what's obvious. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go through the watch list. We're going to see if we can find a couple of good stocks to trade. Then we're going to get dialed in. I might be able to take some trades during the morning show here. So morning shows live on YouTube. Those who are members of Day Trade Dash or Warrior Trading, you guys have access to my ultra low latency broadcast as close to real time as possible. No ads, of course. And we have just opened up the wait list on Day Trade Dash. We're bringing on new members. We're doing a slow rollout. So we're only bringing on a small number of people to start. We want to get your feedback. We want to build the community in a really kind of calculated way. We want to make sure everyone is having a really great experience. This is in my years of, being a trader, but also hosting this community at Warrior. I've had the opportunity to do a fair amount of, to sort of oversee a fair amount of software development because we've built our own software right here. When we started building this years ago, we built this to solve sort of two problems. Number one, there were not any products out there off the shelf that provided ultra low latency broadcasting. And number two, most of the products that were out there off the shelf had a limit of the number of people that could be using it at the same time. So it'd be like a 500 or 1,000 person kind of limit. And that was not that wasn't going to work for the community that we were growing. So we started building our own chat room software. So live audio video broadcast using ultra low latency streaming servers. And this has been something we've been building since 2017. This has been years of development to get to the point where it's at now. And so one of the things that I've learned along the way is when we launch something new is to roll it out slowly, to get feedback, to always have the ability to roll back if we have to a previous iteration, but to roll it out slowly, get feedback, because when you bring on a lot of people all at once, there may be things you didn't expect. And so this is the strategy for those that are already in the Day Trade Dash chat room. So I see you guys in there. Thank you. And for those tuning in on YouTube, we have opened up the list, but we're bringing on people slowly. So just be aware of that. Okay, so yeah, I would say coming up to 9 a.m., we may have a possibility. There may be some news at 9 a.m. that we can watch for. Maybe there'll be something. AMTD, I'm not interested in that at this point. HKD, pre-market, there's nothing there for me. Let's see. That's right. I forgot about that. Top, yeah. This is Tupperware. Low expectations. I don't think this is going to be a particularly exciting stock. So watching for top of the hour, 9 a.m. This is when I watch scans closely. Watch breaking news. A short at the open on HZNP. Yeah, bear flag. Nice job. Okay, Tobin's wife is going to single-handedly take Tupperware to the moon with all her purchases of Tupperware. So that's good. That's some good intel. Okay, so far 9 a.m. Watching news. So I'm a little bit bummed out that there's not more this morning, but it is in keeping with the fact that we sort of peaked yesterday. HKD peaked and has pulled back a little bit. AMTD, which was our Sympathy Momo stock yesterday, has pulled back. APDN, Still holding up relatively well, but you did have a sharper pullback. So I don't know. Your high was 615, 617. It kind of popped just a little higher before pulling back kind of hard. You might have a trigger at like 570. So we're in a little bit of a lull here, aside from, little action on APDN. So I think I'm gonna just keep watching scans and wait for something to start to open up a little bit more. I'd probably look at this possibly as the beginning of an inverse head and shoulders under 570. About 18 million shares of volume on APDN right now. High there was 561. News on CLSK announces July 22 Bitcoin mining update. Mined 13 Bitcoin per day. Seems like a lot. Too bad price is down. $40,000 share seller on APDN. 34,000, 30, 28, 25, 20. Breaks that level. Coming up to the other part of the shoulder. Here up to 67. MTC still below VWAP. So once you come up to form the edge of the head and shoulder, it needs to pull back off this level. AMTD, yep, that's a rejection. So that's a sharp rejection too. In that candle, 100,000 shares down 60 cents. Hang on one second. All right. So let's see. Sorry about that. So we've got about 20 minutes to the opening bell, kind of sitting tight right here. I just don't see anything that looks that great. So it might just be a slow start to the day, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see if HKD, opens up, or I don't know. If that does open up, maybe we see some sympathy momentum on some other names. QRTEB, we had some trades on this yesterday. Came back to the double top as LTRPB squeezed up to 90, but what is it? But then I thought QRTB would go a little bit higher, but sometimes you have these stocks that sort of trade in tandem and then they start to get disconnected. So it ended up just getting kind of disconnected and moving down. MDIA, this one had a good trade on. High there is 586, so we'll keep that one on watch. It's on the gap scanner. VWAP is at 21. APDN coming back down to 44. Bought 1,000 shares of MDIA since it's moving a little bit here. I think what I'll do on this, the high is 86. I want to look for maybe an add through 86, add at 69 there. So trying to scale up on this a little bit, and then let's see if it breaks through 6. Add it at 98. Next add's gonna be 625, and we'll see if we get a move up to 6. Added at 625. We'll see if we get a move up to 650, because this one was pretty impressive yesterday, and it is on the gap scanner up 66%. There's 635 on the ask. So watching the add over 35. We're up 63% on this break of VWAP setup, and I've got a target. First target would be $7. Buying the dip at 16 right here. Now looking for the surge back through 637 and then 645. Nice. Watch this micro pullback. Add it at 645. Now looking for the move up to 660. Good. All right, so we're getting a little action on this. Watching here over 665. Moving up the gap scanner. Buying the dip here at 43. Now looking for the retest of 65 and 75 for a move up to $7. So I had said that I wanted to see the squeeze to 7. Added at 65 right there. Nice. Booking profit. Now it's extended off of the entry, which was low, but kept adding higher. So we're coming up towards our target. New orders at $7. Watching. Dip trade at 41. Bought the dip. Happy with that dip trade. Holding smaller size. Our high was 73. We're up 70%, so this is our 5th leading gapper right now, 4th leading gapper. Did another dip trade at 41. So I just keep buying those dips and then taking 10 cents of profit out on those dip trades. So when something starts to move, I'll size into it. And if it pops up and then reverses, I'm not going to size into it. Reminder as always that trading is risky. Most beginner traders lose money, and you shouldn't try to blindly follow me or anyone else. This is a stock that made a big move yesterday, so it naturally has a lot of traders watching it today. Dip at 43. Pop up to 55. Added at 60. 65. Now looking for the break through 70. So we're starting to move a little bit higher here. Added at 41. Buying this dip on the pullback. Looking for the break through 65 and 70. We're up 73%. So if we can break through 7, then we've definitely got some more room. Flat for now at 41, watching for another dip trade. Partial fill on the dip there. So only a partial fill. Watching over 75 and 85 for an add. That was a nice dip trade though. I tried to buy 5,000 shares. I only filled 500. Added at 50. Next add is 65. Flat for now. Watching for the next dip. So we have about 12 minutes to the open. We need to break through 7. APDN has pulled back to 520. I'm just watching level 2. I'm not even looking at the chart when I do a dip trade. Added back at 56. Now looking for 65 and 70. Watch over the high of 70. Adding at 67 there. So now we're looking for acceleration, 75.85, and the pull away to $7. Added at 75. Nice. That's a profit opportunity. New orders at 85. Let's see if we can break over 85. Hand is on the buy button. Watching the tape for 80 to print. Dip at 63. There's back up to 76. Can we break through 80? Added at 66. There's 75. I want to see if this can squeeze through 85 for a move up to $7. There's 88. Nice. Adding at 79 for 88. Holding 3,000 shares. Remember, I always try to sell on the ask on these. New orders at 95. Buying the dip at 71. Dip trade. Looking for the pop back up through 80. What I'd like to see is a surge through 85 and 95 and a move over $7. That's what I'm looking for. So let's see if we can get the break through 85. Gonna sit tight for right now and watch this pullback to the 9 moving average and see if I can buy a dip off of 650. Flat on the trade, watching 650. Well, you know, I heard a rustling in the attic, and wasn't quite sure what it was, but it's as it turns out, I have created a home for hundreds and hundreds of bats. So Batman is coming, and he's going to be doing some work to get them to move on out. So girl finds that type of work fascinating. Added on the dip at 63. So Warrior members, Dash members, certainly going to be watching these into the open. Looking for MDIA to break through 7. Watching dips off of 650. I want to see if I can get filled at like 55 on the dip. So right now we've got 3 red candles in a row, watching first 1 minute candle to make a new high. Added at 67. So there's a little profit back up at 74 off the dip. And for the most part on this one, I'm not hitting the bid at all. I'm only selling at the ask. So 9 moving average is at 51. Compared to APDN, APDN is not really set up very well right now. ER, don't like it. HSDT, maybe if it gets back over 210, but it's cheaper. So that leaves me with MDIA. So we'll wait for the 5-minute bull flag to form. For those tuning in on YouTube for the morning show, thank you guys for being here as always. I hope you hit the thumbs up. We've got a market where we're seeing some action. Things are getting pretty wild. So where I see things starting to move, I'm going to jump on quickly, try to ride the momentum. If something is sticking, I'm going to try to be aggressive. I was fairly aggressive on MDIA, did fairly well on it. But as always, my results are not typical, so make sure you do take it slow, manage your own risk. A little choppy in this area. 5 minutes premature. We're not on a 5 minute clean 5 minute setup just yet. So I always want to try to sell on the ask. I don't want to hit the bid. If you hit the bid, your order is going to be red on the tape. And so we talked about this in the algo scalping class, why I think that that's important to avoid. Starter at 53 on the dip. So average right now is 53. There's 64 on the ask. Watching 70. So as we get closer to the opening bell, I'll remind you that we are bringing on members for Day Trade Dash. This is pinned over in the comments on YouTube. So Day Trade Dash is access to chat, scanners, news, and audio video broadcast only. No access to the classes, no access to the mentor sessions. But for those that are looking for a chat only type of membership, we are bringing on members. We've only opened up one level of membership right now. We're bringing on members slowly, which we'll be doing right now as we're just ramping up this new platform. So thank you guys who have already checked it out. We're doing email only invitations, so you've got to be on the email list for Day Trade Dash. So I'll see you guys over there. I'm streaming right now both to Dash and to the small cap room over at Warrior. All right, so this is the game plan going into the open. Still watching HKD on a side chart. Bought the dip there at 45 on MDIA. There's a seller at 54. Is that going to get bought up? Right now it's holding. So we're coming right into the open. This is still a 5-minute bull flag. Watching 623 for dips because 623 is volume weighted average price. So orders are ready to buy the dip off of VWAP. All right, so this is our game plan here with a couple minutes to the open. When the market's hot, I want to try to be aggressive. So we've got some action. We'll see if I can make my way up a little further in the P&L today. I've already crossed the daily goal. All right, so that's the game plan. Thanks again for those tuning in on YouTube for the morning show. I'll be back a little bit later for the recap. And a reminder, as always, trading is risky. My results are not typical, so make sure you take it slow. If you want to check out some more episodes, I'll put some links right here where you can check out a couple of popular episodes on the channel. Bought the dip at 38 on MDIA. And I'm going to keep looking for opportunities on this off of VWAP and the 20 moving average at 26.